Bomba-dee-da, 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 bomba-dee-da,
Welcome aboard, everybody.
Hey, welcome back to Happy Trails to everybody out there.
Everybody out there, and today is your lucky day.
Yeah, it is.
You know why?
Tell me.
Because you got the luck of Irish with you. It's
The
St.
luck of the
Patty's
Irish.
Day. St. Patty's Day today, Matt.
I've got some green beer in
Do
here.
you? Very nice.
Well, it's more like green coffee, but
excellent.
you like my Irish accent? Sounds so much like my Scottish accent,
That close. They're right next to each
which is almost like my Italian accent.
other. Yeah. How about your German?
It's almost like my German accent too.
Oh, yeah, you got a little bit of all those going on. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a talent. Not everybody has this kind of talent.
Well, that's why I specifically handpicked you to be my real estate partner.
There you go.
Because you have some talents.
Yes. Speaking
no
of
doubt.
talents, what's our topic today, Blaine?
Today we're going to talk about we started this we really got serious about multifamily real estate about 2 years ago. And we've obviously learned some lessons through the time. Just so you recall, I am Dr. Blaine McLaughlin, and I'm a dentist in Iowa, in Robbins, Iowa. And it's the home of where all the robins are coming out now. They're all coming
everywhere.
out. It's springtime.
They are
and they're
everywhere.
starting to chirp all over.
Yes.
And
they're even here. There's some here. They migrated.
Really, they've spread that far.
They've gotten all the way. Hey, I'm Dr. Matt Bynum. I am a practicing dentist here in Simpsonville, South Carolina. And together, Blaine and I, we graduated from the same class a long, long time ago. We find ourselves at the end of our dental careers trying to figure out what are we going to do next, and are we able to do anything next as retirement settles in on us and as we ride off into the proverbial dental sunset.
Yes. And so I've been involved in real estate and been excited about it for probably about 30 years, right after I got out of dental school. And I went to some courses, Kiyosaki stuff, and just was super excited about it and thought this is the thing to do. And I got involved in some deals as a passive investor with a local friend of mine. Some went well and some didn't go well. And then I'm like, dang, it wasn't panning out to what I thought. And so I just focused on my dental practice and kind of let that stuff ride. And nothing super exciting happened with it. And I got out of it, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I've kind of sold everything I had in there. As my kids were going to college, it just gave me a little extra cash. Then we start thinking about retirement, and we're like, wait, we have a nest egg, right? There's a nest egg. There's a nest egg right here. And I'm looking at it going, where the hell? I really started doing some calculations and trying to figure stuff out. And I'm like, this isn't working, man. This is not working. And Matt and I just kind of both have come to that conclusion that what we've been told to do with our money throughout our careers isn't working for us. And maybe it works for some people, but I know a lot of people that are not doing as well as they should.
What's one of the questions we ask? Who's got your money?
Yep. And so we're here. We're like, you know what? We're taking control. And Matt said, hey, I'm going to this real estate thing. And I'm like, I'm freaking all in on this because I know this works. I just need to know more about it, or where to do it, or what to do, be around the right people. And so we've surrounded ourselves with some amazing people. And today we're going to talk about some of the biggest things we've learned, whether they're lessons that we've learned, or I don't know if that would be a negative. It's not really not a negative. It's just,
I think they're all lessons somehow, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all lessons. Some are more positive feeling than others, but we're going to talk about those and what we've come across. And one of the things, we'll just start right in right now. One of the things that I've learned, and this isn't something I learned through real estate. This is something I learned through dentistry, and probably a lot of the stuff that Matt and I have been studied when we did our advanced education dentistry. But you got to surround yourself with very capable, very wonderful people.
Mm.
And by surrounding yourself with other people that know what's going on and that maybe have done this or have a good direction on it. I mean, that's gonna take you so much further than trying to do everything yourself because there's a lot out there.
Yeah, that's kind of like, developing mentors. You got to have a mentor in everything you do. We've done the same thing in dentistry, whether we learn from somebody, we follow somebody that's been very successful in our careers, and we become successful in our own careers. Probably, Blaine mentioned that he started 30 years ago. I probably started somewhere around that same time, not in the same capacity as investing though. So I got into the more of the commercial side of real estate with building our practice and buying property and building a brand new building and understanding those concepts. And later that's turned into buying additional buildings and more land, things of that nature. And then there's been failed businesses where we tried some avenues at drive-through coffee bars with classmates and friends. And in the process of that, we lost our friendship with the classmates and friends, and business went south, and we lost about $1.5 million. And we shouldn't have lost that much because our partners went bankrupt and we ate their debt. And that was something that has always stuck with me. And it's a sad lesson because it was a very expensive lesson learned. But I think one of the things I get from that, and more importantly, is you learn a lot about the people that you deal with. And that's why it's so important. This first thing that Blaine said is find mentors and people that you can appreciate that have been successful, that can teach you and that are willing to teach you, because not everybody is. And that's a great starting point to kick us off. Blaine, great job with that.
Right. Yeah. And when I look at the at dentistry and again, kind of comparing this to our careers that we have a lot of experience at, when you're doing great dentistry for people and trying to help them out in their lives, you can't do this yourself. I know some dentists who don't have assistants and
Mm,
they just do everything. I'm like, what?
mm.
Or my dad worked for years as a dentist and he rarely, well, he tried, but he really didn't have a hygienist to help clean teeth and stuff. He did that himself. And so, there's kind of the jack of all trades, if you're the jack of all trades, you're the master of none.
Master of Bing
Right.
Zero.
And so, we've kind of taken that to heart. And I have some amazing assistants now who do a ton of the work to help our patients. And how about a dental laboratory that helps fabricate let's say you're doing a denture or a crown or some sort of rebuilding some teeth. The laboratory is a huge partner in that. And, you know, back in the day, some dentists did that themselves. They would, have all this stuff in their back lab and they would create all the, whatever they needed to do, like I said, dentures and stuff like that, and mold the plastic and do the gold crowns and this and that. And that's one way of doing it, but that's not my way, and I don't think you can be very super efficient at that. And you get into real estate, and it's the same thing
And
where you
I remember in the early days of dentistry where I heard there was somebody was bragging to me, telling me about their dentist and how they only see one patient a day. And I'm like, well, how the hell can they make any money? Like, they got to be stupid. Like, what what is wrong with those? Like, I couldn't even comprehend it in my head. I'm like, what do you mean they see one person a day? Like, you know, and they'd see that patient for a long time, 5, 6 hours or something. I'm like, who the hell sits in the chair for 5, 6 hours? Well, here I find myself later on my career seeing one patient, for 3.5 hours, and I could end my day with one patient. And I thought, as it started to happen to me, I'm thinking, God, did I just not understand? I didn't even get it. So maybe there were people that were leading the forefront way back then that I stumbled across and had no idea. But they certainly
probably.
had information that was very valuable to understanding the process, and I didn't even know it. So that happens. That happens. It's happened in real estate. Blaine and I have come across some very good friends that we've met in the business now who have been very successful doing this for 9, 10 years. I've met a lot of real estate investors that all they do is they fly around on vacation, they look at properties, they buy properties, and I never see anybody toiling over work. I see them going on vacation, which is kind of fun for what they do, and it's part of the business, right? So
Totally.
I got to commend them for the actions, because I'm thinking, man, I want to learn more about that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Yep. And so, I mean, if you're going to be successful in multifamily real estate, this again, huge lesson is you got to surround yourself with good people.
Mm.
And some of the stuff that we were taught initially, are in our personal mentoring program, which I know we had like 17 videos that we were watching, and I'm sure Matt got through all those.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
on training, and each video was like a different aspect of what you needed to do to become a successful multifamily real estate investor. And so there was a segment on financing, on how to get good financing, segment on how to find the deals, segment on due diligence of the deals, and all this stuff. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm eating all this stuff up, going, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna do this because I'm done with the freaking 401k crap.
Mm.
And I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 100% in. And then you get so far into this, and you're like, that's a lot of freaking work. And you get property
Mm.
management on top of that. I mean, just all this stuff. You're like, it's almost impossible for one person to be really, really good at all 17 steps or whatever there is. And so that's again a huge lesson I've learned. And when we first got involved in this, and we first took our class, they kind of taught you, hey, here's the basics on all these 17 steps, and then you can be a multi. And I think they, in my opinion, they kind of missed the deal mark a little bit, because again, it's so hard to do all of those.
Yeah.
Where you should find your little niche,
Your
or is it
niche.
niche? I
No,
heard you can use both words, but anyway.
I heard you can say niche.
Niche. Niche. Is
Niche.
that French?
Sure.
And and then again, surround yourself, find what you like to do or what you're good at. Surround yourself with people that are really good at the stuff that you're not good at. And
Mm.
so again, that was again a huge thing for me, because I was going, hey, I'm gonna just do everything myself.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's something that you've got to have a good team. You got to understand where you sit in the lineage and the hierarchy, and where's your weaknesses and where's your strengths, and you got to be able to verbalize those to the people you're with so they can understand and get to know you that way too. So great point. I think one of the big lessons I've learned is, when you jump into this multifamily stuff, you get really excited. You know what I mean? Like, it's exciting to hear people talk about, hey, you can invest money and your return is this, you're going to make 18% on your money within 3 to 5 years. That's basically 2 times your money. So, if you put in 100,000, you're going to get your 100 back, and you're going to get another 100. So in 3.5 years. And I'm thinking, man, I can't make that kind of money. I'm not making 18% in 5 years in the market. So shit, you're telling me that we can do this at 3.5 years, maybe 4, even 5 years. Let's do it. I'm going to make 2 times my money. Let's do it. So you get really excited. You start throwing your money around in all these areas to become a passive investor, making 2 times your money, which is better than you're doing in the market. And you're super excited and you're pumped, and you put it all in there, and you're like, man, it's only been a year. When, when is this? When's the money? How long's it been?
So
When's the
good.
money?
So true.
When's the money coming? So now you're paying attention, because you're a passive investor. You're in 5 or 6 deals, and you're getting these updates every month, and you're looking at it, and all of a sudden you're going, when am I going to get some dividend returns? Like, shouldn't we getting some, monthly return or quarterly return? I've been in this now for going 1.5 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Where's my
Pushing.
money? Like, we don't have any money yet, and then you start worrying, did I do the wrong thing? Right. So then, but what it causes you to do, Blaine, is it causes you to kind of really take interest in part of what's happening in the multifamily world, and understanding what vacancy looks like, and understanding what trends look like, and understanding what your rent raise and what that's looking like, and using your CapEx money to turn the apartment complex around. And did you save reserves, or did you not save reserves? Are somebody going to capital call me for more money? All of the things that we've talked about in the last several segments for the last 2 years. And surely we're going to have to repeat those, because we got new listeners and people watching. But the lesson I learned is, you got to kind of quail the excitement a little bit. It's good to be excited,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you have to be realistic and understand that there's powers that be and things that are in the works, especially if you're the passive guy. If you're the general partner, if you're the one that's helping make those decisions, like Blaine said, if you're one of the managers of any sort, if you are handling the ins and outs of those GP deals, then you are on top of things more so than your passive investors, or you are as a passive investor. So you're just watching, going, "Oh, where's my money now?" So you're actively making decisions to make that money turn. So one thing I learned is just you got to kind of be patient, and
Yeah.
everybody says that, but you're like, really? Do I have to be like, but you got to be patient. So,
Yep. Yep. And especially when they discuss the difference between LP and GP,
mhm,
limit, passive investor versus a general partner, or limited partner versus general partner.
yeah,
So everybody's like, well, limited partner sounds cool, but
yeah.
general partner sounds really, really cool.
Why does it
And
sound really
so,
cool?
because you got your money.
Yeah. Well, as a limited partner, I can 2x my money,
Yep.
but as a GP, what can I do?
Oh, maybe 10x it.
I,
Yeah.
man, 5x, 10x. So you get excited right away. You're like, man,
Yeah.
I want a
Yeah.
GP deal. Like I want in on this
Uh,
GP thing. Hey, do
yeah.
you need a GP?
Hey,
Do you
who's
need
got a
somebody to join
GP?
your team?
Let me do it.
Yeah.
They're
And you're
like,
saying, hey, I want in.
what do you bring to the table? I don't know,
Uh,
excitement.
this, I go like this. I don't know. What do you need?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Right, right. Uh,
So you get totally bumped because they're the ones that are putting in the work, but they've earned the right to put in the work, and that's something to really take note of. Is they've been through the ins and outs. They've had the losses. They've had the wins. They know what's going on with the trends. And I can think of a handful of people we've met through the Sumrock ecosystem that, man, if those guys are going to do a deal and they're going to call me on the deal, I'm interested. I
yeah,
really am, because I've watched them work. I know what type of character they are, what kind of ideals and core values they hold. So I've got to know them as people and individuals, or the family people. So that kind of thing. So that's really cool to see that. But you're right. You get excited. You want to be a GP over an LP any day, but then you
yeah,
realize, oh my gosh, I gotta know
yeah.
what's going on.
And it takes a lot of time to build those relationships too.
So here's
Uh,
another one I thought of, Blaine, is I think one of the lessons I've learned is, being a GP, because I'm a co-GP in one of these deals that I'm part of, is you take on the responsibility of the people that you bring into the deal as passive investors. Like, I reached out to people that I know that have the wherewithal to be able to join into this particular project and this particular investment, and they came in willingly. They know there's risk, but at the same time, it was me that brought them into the deal. So if they see a trend, because they get that monthly thing and they see the trend going, hey, it looks like the vacancies are going up. I get a phone call, because I'm one of the GPs. Hey, Matt, what's going on with the vacancy over there at BDO? And I'm like, oh gosh, something? We've been watching it. We had some people that defaulted. We had to kick them out, and that takes 2 months legally. So there's a bit of a lapse and a catch up. And so you kind of have to know what's happening with your property to be a GP. You can't just be a GP and not know anything. Like as a passive investor, you give your money and you just say, make some money for me, like turn it on, let's go. And that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. But being the GP, you got responsibility to your friends and to your investors, whether you know them or not, because they're the ones that are going to call you. And I certainly don't like owing people, and I don't like messing with other people's money just as much as I don't like people messing with my money, unless it's in a favorable position. Even if I got into it knowingly and willingly, that there's still risk. I still want to handle their money the way that I would handle my own money. So I've learned in that process of doing this as a co-GP that responsibility lays heavy on your shoulders, and you have to know your stuff. You really have to know your stuff.
yeah,
You've got to dive in with your other GPs, find out what's happening, and that takes regular phone calls. So we get on regular Zoom calls. We talk about the trends. We talk about what we're doing to fix this, fix that. So being on those calls has taught me quite a bit in the process of learning the stuff from other people as well. So that's a lesson learned for sure.
yeah. As far as again, it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? And
Mhm.
they're pretty upfront on that. And so again, it takes time to develop the relationships, takes time to develop the knowledge. Like I said, Matt probably learned as much, if not more, being on those GB calls, and I didn't have that opportunity. So I went through all the all the videos, and they were, I mean, these are a couple hour videos each, and there's like 17 of them. So there's a lot of information there. And I'm no expert on a lot of this stuff, but I know a lot about, if I was, when I become a GP and somebody calls me, I'll certainly be able to explain to them, hey, this is what's going on. This is a story. This is where we're headed. And this is what we're doing to, remedy this issue, or take the complex in this direction, or whatever.
And
And
if you listen to those tapes, if you listen to them on 3 or 4 speed, you can get through them a lot quicker than 2 hours.
yeah, but I can't understand that very, I can't
I just hope that it
comprehend
absorbs
that,
when I listen to it.
and that I can't comprehend that. I was in I was in college for 7 years. It took me, that killed all those brain cells off.
Ah, that's part of what's wrong with you.
That's
I
part.
got you. That's part of it. I have a lot wrong with me, and I still haven't been able to figure it out. But oh well. I think another lesson learned is that multifamily is fun. I think it's fun if you surround yourself with the right people. It's a fun way to place your money and watch it grow, because the chances of your investment with the multifamily deal going completely south where you lose everything, pretty slim to none. Even though it's
Yeah.
happened, we heard about, we talked about that in one of our episodes last year. There was a group that put together some deals out of Houston. They were combined. It was like 2 or 3 properties, and they totally went debunk. Of course, there was a lot of shadiness going on with the lead GP in that deal. So a lot of money was lost. They captured that in Wall Street Journal article talking about it. So there was a lot of things wrong. And then they kind of put that onto the general populace of multifamily investors and said, is this the downfall of multifamily real estate? And I don't think so at all. I just think those are mismanaged opportunities that could have been turned around, or maybe should have been left alone in the first place, given the numbers. But I think there's a level of excitement and a level of fun that you have when you invest in this type of real estate, because you get to watch it grow, you get to see the trends, you get to learn, and you get to be on the other side of it where, yeah, so let's say that, we were looking at doing an 18% return, and instead we got a 15% return. Are you going to complain about a 15% return? Because my question would be, where are you going to get 15% in the market right now? It's just not happening.
Well, and you mentioned that the over the last couple of years, you're like, hey, where do we get the money, or where's the money? Is it coming? Well, what is exciting to me is that we've come through probably the worst multifamily time over the last year and a half, about when we started, of course, that has occurred in the last 2 decades, right? And so back in the what, 2008-ish, I think. So that's not quite 2 decades ago. But there was a huge crash, and then there was some other stuff in the, I don't know, the mid-teens or something like that, but that was a much milder. But then there's this issue, and we've come through this, and we're starting to see the other side. And again, that's very encouraging. It's not all doom and gloom like you were talking about, and
Yeah.
the businesses failing, and the end of multifamily, and da 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 da. That's not happening. It's again, find the right people who know what they're doing. Build those relationships. Take your time. I mean, don't come into this and go, hey, I want to be GP with you guys on your next deal. It's like, well, there's a few things you can do to help us, but that's may not happen, because we need to understand what you're like and what you do. And you got to bring the value to the table. And that takes a while. And again, that's a huge lesson I've learned is, I wanted to get involved right away, but if you do it the right way, and initially my first couple, when I went down to Dallas, we went to some of the deals, we got involved with some people, and I would talk with the few people here and there, and kind of chat, and become friends with these, and how well do you know them? Well, I talked to him for 10 minutes one day, and then we've chatted on, Facebook Messenger or text. Well, I don't know, and so here I am 2 years later, looking back on some of those initial relationships, going, yeah, you know what? They were friendly and nice, but man, I am freaking glad that I'm not involved with them.
Yes.
So again, that just another amazing lesson that I've learned that it takes, you got to build the relationships, man. It just is so important because you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache by being around the best people.
And I think, what ties into that is just having your core values in alignment. You might meet great people, but your core values are not in alignment with their core values.
Yeah.
So, if it's just not in alignment, then, you're seeing the picture from two different sides. So that's something that's really, really important. And, we talk about that every time we talk about investing is number one, know, like, and trust the people that are going to put together the deal that you're going to invest with. I mean, I can't tell you how important that is. And uh, I tell you another thing I've learned in this multifamily is that it's not all about the return. It's not all about the investment and the money that you make. One of the really cool ancillary benefits that's happened that I had no idea was how you are bettering a community.
Just was going to talk about that too.
Yeah, there is. Well, you can add into this. So, there's a part of this that's almost it's
No.
philanthropic,
Philanthropic.
and philanthropic. So there's a certain aspect of this investing where you are actually investing in the community, and you're investing in the people that live in the community, and you are enhancing the lives of the people that live there. Of course, you're raising their rent, but at the same time, you're providing an opportunity that's better, that's more not prestigious, that's more comfortable, that's safer, that is where people take pride in living in an area. And I think I had no idea when I first got into this that there was a certain aspect of this that provided that level of giving to somebody else. And that's really cool. As dentists, this is something we've done our whole lives. We work to bring betterment to the people that come see us, whether it's their health, to get them out of pain, to make them look better, self-confidence, or whatever it is. And this multifamily provides a different level of that, and just almost like an extension of what it is that we do. So I've found in the last couple of years that this is something that I get excited about, is watching a community grow and watching them get excited about what you're doing to the community that they consider theirs. So I really love that. So elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Man.
And I've seen some reports on some of the deals that I'm involved in, and they'll give you the monthly reports. And they're like, hey, we're trying to build a community here. Here's the latest reviews we got. And people are on going, can't believe the new property management people or the new owners have done such a great job. I feel so much like this is much more my home or where I need to be, and that kind of thing. And it's like, wow. Or I love the freaking get together we had over the 4th of July. It was so much fun getting to meet some of the other people that live here and getting to have some fun. And thanks to the owners for that. And I'm like, it just, again, it never even dawned on me. But this one quote that comes to mind is by Zig Ziglar. And I said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And so it goes right in line with that. It's just
yeah, for sure.
So
For
there you
sure. And
go.
I think, like you said, it's the people that are making comments are the ones that are talking about, the improvements that you're making. But think about this. How many of you live in a neighborhood where you pull into your neighborhood, you pull into your house, and you pull out of your house to go to work? And I don't know. I live in a neighborhood of probably, I don't know, 300 homes, maybe. We live behind a gate. I couldn't tell you the name of one person outside of my direct neighbors, and I might see them if I pull into my house at the right time and wave at them. So here, these people are living in a community where they're actually putting things together where they're meeting the people that they're living with. So there becomes a kinship, a friendship, a family, and you're part of that. You're the main reason for bringing that group together. Man, there's something to be said for that. I think there's
Yeah.
something that maybe God's going to smile on you later for doing something like that, and I'll take all the points that I can get. So,
Well, I live, my community here in Robbins. I mean, we're in a cul-de-sac, and there's for like 8 houses in the cul-de-sac, and then there's another as you drive out. Obviously, get more, but I mean, we know everybody here, and we'll hang. I mean, we communicate with them and hang out with them on a regular basis, and it just in a lot of different ways. And it's cool to know to come. When we were gone on vacation last week, the girl down the street sent Chris a message, say, hey, your garage door's open. And we're like, that dang Caden was here. And he
Oh,
left it open, that jerk. Anyway, but that's just one of those little things where they got your back, right? And that's
yeah,
cool to have a little community like that. And we'll get together again if we have where all our grad parties we invited all the neighbors and most of them came by, and that was just kind of
that's
cool.
cool. That is
So I
cool.
like that feel, and it's great to be able to create that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what else. What are some other things we've learned, Blaine?
Nothing.
Really the list is. We could probably talk for hours on majority of it, but these are just things off the top of our heads today. And um,
Yeah, and you notice how none of that's super technical, right? It's not like,
I don't
oh,
think any of it's
the
technical.
biggest lesson I learned is to use the property analyzer when you're, doing a deal, or, or make sure that the biggest thing I learned was, I mean, these are all more generalized, bigger than that, and it's not just the little, again, the specifics. And I think that's kind of interesting, and I hadn't thought about that until I'm just kind of reviewing back on what we've been saying.
Here's something I've learned that'll maybe help others out there. And I've kind of been responsible for capital raising in a lot of the deals that I've been a part of, just because I know a lot of people, and the profession is one that is dentists. There's dentists that make a lot of money and they don't know what to do with it, and they're looking for avenues to build better investments to make better return than what they've been doing in the market, much like Blaine and I. So our goal is to be able to teach those of you out there that are listening that, hey, how could you avoid the mistakes that we made, and how can you turn this into betterment for your family and for yourselves without the hardships that we've been through? So that's really why we started Happy Trails in the first place. But I think one of the things is I think in order to raise capital, you cannot be afraid to talk to anybody. I don't care who it is. Don't be afraid to talk to anybody about this deal, because it's as simple as saying, hey, do you have the opportunity or the wherewithal to potentially invest money to maybe potentially make more money than what you're making in the market? And if they say yes, then you may sit down and say, well, I have a multifamily real estate option that might be available. If you're interested, I'd be happy to give you some information. And then you can expand upon that at a later date. Send them the slide deck, whatever you want to give them, the performa, and then sit down and have a conversation with them. And it's really as easy as that. But there isn't one person out there that I wouldn't talk to about this. And if you're afraid to talk to people about the deal that you have or the investments, then you're going to be challenged as far as capital raising. So it's not a matter of you only target certain people. It's a matter of how enthusiastic you are about your deal. I've talked to people that are friends of friends, and all of a sudden they're like, I want in on that. And I'm like, oh, who are you? Uh, oh, I got you. So they just want to know information, because there's plenty of people out there that have been doing exactly what we've been doing, and that's getting our butt kicked in the market. And we've now gotten to the point where, Ann and I have pulled money. We're not even funding the retirement anymore.
Same.
We stopped doing that probably 2 years ago, because
Yep.
why? Why are we funding something that's just losing money? I'd rather take the money and invest it myself and be in control of it. And that's exactly what we're doing. And right now, I feel like those investments that we made are going to pay off for us. So, that's the avenues that we're pursuing at this particular point in time. And I have nobody to blame but me, rather than somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. I'll bet on myself any day. And I think the biggest problem we have is when you start to make any kind of financial gain, somebody tells you, hey, put this with this guy or this gal. They're going to do the investing. They're going to make you the money, and you just stay almost passive in that role with the market. But the market is something that's totally uncontrollable. I mean, maybe there's some people out there, and like you said, Blaine, earlier, there's a couple of people I met. They're like, I've done really well in the market, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
do you watch the market? And they say, well, yeah, I play around with it quite a bit. Oh, that's different. You want
Yeah.
to invest your time to do that versus
Sure.
just giving your money
Sure.
away, then that's a different thing. So now you're involved with the job. I don't want to do that, and nor do I have the time to do that. I'd rather invest that time in real estate.
Got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
man. Yeah.
That's a good, I think that's a good finishing line, unless you got something else. Right
Hey,
on.
let's end there.
Uh,
Excited that Blaine's back from Barcelona.
I was in Barcelona last week. It was fantastic little trip. There's a lesson that I learned, is that I love to travel. I
There
want to do
you
more of it.
you're getting it.
So
You're
let's
getting it.
go.
Let's
Let's go.
go.
Make
Let's
this, let's go.
let's go.
Let's make this
Let's
real
go
estate.
now. Let's go now.
Let's make this real estate thing.
Let's do this. Hey, by the way,
Roll.
when are we in Dallas? We're at the
We are
Sub Rock
we're in
Rat Race
Dallas
to
in a
Retirement
month. In a month.
in a month. Anybody that wants to go, if you're out there watching, considering, I'm not sure what it is, give us a call, give us a text, give us a DM, whatever it is. Is it a DM? I don't know.
Direct message.
Send us a message somehow, whatever it is. If your pigeon's coming by my house, just make sure that my dogs don't bite it.
Pigeons.
So, and
Your
we'll get the
dogs.
message.
They just
So,
chase balls around.
Yeah, they do pretty much. But yeah, so we'd love to have you join us if it's something you'd want to go learn for yourselves with us. Certainly it's in Dallas. It's 2 days, 3 days, two
It's
and a half days.
3 days. 3 days. And
we're pumped. This is one of our favorite events. This is the one that got us triggered.
Yeah. A lot of networking we'll do there. Again, we're going to build some relationships for sure. Most of the stuff they're going to teach there, we probably already know, right? It'll be some updates in the market, but we get all that stuff by just watching podcast, we don't watch podcasts, but you could, I guess, listen to podcasts and articles and stuff like that. I get most of the market trends and stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot of networking, talk to a lot of cool people.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. Awesome,
Right
guys.
on.
Well, hey, thanks again for listening. Thanks for watching. Once again, tell your friends, hit the like button. Do us a favor if you would. Do we have our link up so they can send us their email addresses yet? Do we have that?
I can work on that. Maybe.
We might be able to get to the end of this that you can hit a link. We're trying. We want to get everybody's email address so we can stay in direct contact. That's the key. So that way we have everybody. But don't be afraid. Send us a like, send us a question. And if we get back on next week and say we didn't have it, then there you go.
That'll be the week after.
We're
getting there. We're getting there.
Oh, we're gonna broadcast live, right? We're gonna cast live from the event in Dallas.
Oh yeah, we'll do all 3 days.
Oh yeah, be a blast. Lots of fun. Meet some cool people. We'll do some interviews.
Yep.
You'll get to meet some of the people that we've met along the way, where you'll think, wow, pretty smart person. Totally different than Blaine and I, but smart people. And,
We got it.
All right. Well, hey, hasta la vista. Happy trails.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think